Happy Monday night, Surgeaholics, Sooner Nation. Welcome to the nightly Sooner Surge, where we talk all things sports, Sooner sports. Thanks for everyone that's been on here. Jetty says, let's go. Kim says, hey. Monty says, hit the like for this awesome crew. Appreciate it, Monty.
What's going on tonight? Monday, big time game this week. The buildup for this game Saturday is going to be unbelievable. I I think the weather, from what I saw today, looks like it's going to be pretty good. People on here last night were talking about rain or something. No, it doesn't look like that to me. It looks like it's going to be like 80s.
Larry, no excuses. Butt's dragging as well. I just went and got a Red Bull just for the live tonight.
There you go. Which one did you get? Let me see it.
This is Juneberry, Jay.
Oh, I don't like Juneberry. Hey, 8 players expect to return for Tennessee. I did see a comment Jackson Arnold denied about Anderson.
What was the comment, Jay?
Basically, he's been teasing me that he's going to be playing every week. It'll be good to have him back Saturday. I mean, that's kind of
what I saw in the post-game locker room the other day. He was pretty much dancing full padded up. So, Topher, I did see the Go Boomer tweet by Patty Gasso. It means one of two things. One, it could be the first commit from the new class, or she's the guest picker.
Yeah, and the 2026 recruits are. I mean, they had just had a visit from I think number 6 in perfect game right-handed pitcher. Good possibility that could be it. So we'll see. But yeah, do you think she'll be the guest picker though? I don't think she will be.
I think it could be, Jay.
I don't think that doesn't seem like Patty to me. I mean, she might do it. I don't know. I really got a good feeling it's Gerald McCoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron says Anderson. Ron's been saying the whole year he'll be back for Texas. Now he's saying he's only going to play on running plays. Not happening.
Hey, the Floyd Boo card. Yep. Did he commit?
Hurts. It hurts, Jay.
A lot of people thought it would be Miami, I think, even early on. So who knows? But it does hurt. I mean, he's a good player. So.
But it sounds like Cortez Mills is locked.
Sounds like Cortez Mills locked right now. So I guess he went and visited Nebraska, and there it is. Decided to stay with OU, I guess, right now as commit. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Topher. I mean, we're pretty good chance. I think, yeah, Porter Moser got a 7-foot commit. Porter Moser's had a great offseason. Like him or not, Jeremy, he's had a great offseason.
Until I see it on the court, it doesn't matter. Why aren't we talking OU basketball on OU Tennessee week? Are we kidding?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
What do you mean if he can't run vertical?
I think at this point you're just seeing what he can do with his leg at all. I mean, that's a tough injury to come back from. And
you're either back or you're not, Jay. It's there's no in between here.
Well, were you surprised that he played week 1 and hasn't played the 2 weeks since?
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Braden says likes the hat. You can order one on thefanstop.com. They're right there. Right there. Jay, how many times? Larry says, how many times can we say the offense has to be better? A lot, because the offense has to be better. And I know we can get in it. We're going to break this game, the nuts and bolts of this game all week. But anything interesting from the coaches show tonight, Jay, at Rudy's?
You know, a few things. I wouldn't say. I mean, Brent Venables seemed pretty energetic. One thing he talked about, I think it was the coaches show I was watching. He was talking about, you know, that Seth had schemed up some really good stuff last week, and that they had some plays that they were wanting to go 20 to 30 or 40 yards, big explosive plays, and they only went 12 to 15. You know, you look at that, one of them, I think the Barnes run up the middle, the one safety just kind of gets a shoe tackle on him, and he probably goes for 30 or 40. There were some other plays. I think there was one down the sideline to Deion Burks, the one he made an unbelievable catch and couldn't get in bounds. I think they missed Reagan's there going downfield. I think he was open down the field. So I think there's – and Brent Venables said they have to capitalize on the explosive plays moving forward. That's something they got to be better at explosive plays. They haven't had any. I mean, What's the biggest play this year? Most yards. I mean, maybe Hunter can look it up.
In the 20s.
Nah, I think they've had a 30.
I mean, Jackson Arnold had a 47-yard run. That's probably
Jackson Arnold's run is the biggest play. That's right. That's it. So
Sooner fan says Reagan's not it. Thompson not it. Petaway not it.
Yeah, and Hunter was telling me, I think it's Farouk's cousin is on Tennessee.
Yes, Farouk's was a 47-yard catch, and I think Arnold's was a 47-yard run. Yeah. So that would be tied.
Defensive back, Farouk's, man, there are so many storylines for this game. It's unbelievable. You know, you got Josh Heupel, but the one guy that people don't talk about for Tennessee, Joey Hosel. Used to play at Oklahoma, is also on that staff. He's coming back to Norman. You got all the storylines. You got DeJohn Terry facing his former team, and he's a captain this week.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Will there be any bulletin board material?
No chance.
I don't think so from either team.
Who would do it?
Yeah, I don't know who would, Jay. I don't know who would. JT. Craig says JT.
JT Gasso? For the guest kicker? Somebody said Toby Keith's wife. I don't think. It's going to be, if you look at past, they usually try to get somebody that's pretty entertaining and pretty popular. So, hey, I don't know who it'll be. I think Gerald McCoy would be great.
The presser is tomorrow. So, you hear at the press conference, well, what are some things you want people to ask BV tomorrow, Jay?
Well, I don't think they're going to ask injuries because of all the stuff recently, and they got to put the injury report out Wednesday. I think Brent said that's all done through the athletic trainers and stuff. He doesn't have a whole lot to do with it. I thought maybe, but one question I would ask would be, man, that's a. Let me think about it for a minute. You kind of surprised me with it.
Here's the number one question I'm starting with. You ready?
What's that?
What do you have to say to the students and the Sooner fans about this upcoming
game? That's
game?
True. That's probably what I would.
That's the first question I'm asking. And if BV doesn't take the bait, I'm disappointed.
I think he needs to say something. Danny Stutzman tonight said something.
He alluded to it.
Danny Stutzman brought it up tonight. So you know that the players have noticed it and it's been talked about. Had it been. So
Jen says, and thanks, Jen. Jackson looked more like I'm used to seeing him there at Denton Guyer. Get the O-line right, get the top receivers back. And I think what she's saying is she thinks that he's going to be playing much more like himself. And I would agree with that. Dow Post, BV doesn't really give interesting answers. A lot of coach and listen, here's my thing about BV. He has a couple times taken shots at someone. He did at Lincoln Riley when he first got. What, Jay? Why are you shaking your head?
Well, I was going to say, I think if you go back to old Brent, when he was a coordinator, he was way more open on stuff like that.
Most guys are as coordinators.
As head coach, I don't think he's ever put anything out there that's really, and I don't expect it to happen. Yeah, this was cool, Sooner Cowboys. This was really cool. Walk-ons, if you haven't eaten there, it's good food. We have one here where I live. It's really good. Yeah, they donated $100,000 to OU walk-ons and gave a scholarship to one walk-on, which was Owen Heineke. So unbelievable stuff. I think that's great.
Aaron, I like your idea.
No, that's not. What?
I like the idea, Jay.
What do you like about that?
Save it for passionate fans.
Jeremy, you got to have a student section. That's silly.
Cool, Jay. Cool.
Hey, Aaron, I have to disagree 100% with that.
Go ahead, Jay.
What?
Go ahead and disagree. You can.
I know. I am. That's what I said. I'm disagreeing.
Hey, I'm going to say something about Tennessee fans. You ready? We put a video out, and there was a lot of comments from Tennessee fans, and I'm going to say this. I think Tennessee seems to be pretty knowledgeable fan base and pretty respectful fan base, Jay.
I think every fan
pretty
base,
classy.
Every fan base has some bad apples, but I think in general, I think Tennessee are for the most part. I think they're pretty classy. I don't. When I think of Tennessee fan base, I don't think of them as surely not like LSU or anything like that. So, and based on the video we put out this morning, a lot of Tennessee fans in the comments. There were some that were out there, but a lot of them were just pretty classy, looking forward to the game. I think that's what. I mean, it's weird because Sooner fans have been circling this game forever. So has Tennessee fans, but Tennessee fans come in with a very high feeling right now. It's almost like they're going to walk in and destroy OU. I do not see that happening. And I know some OU fans think that too. There's a lot of OU fans that are picking Tennessee in a landslide. I don't see that.
And for people to say that Nico has faced road tests, he has not. Jay, predictions on injuries returning. Here we go. I'm going to say a name. You say yay or nay. You ready?
Wait. Yay or nay on they play at all?
Yay or nay on that they're back.
One snap counts. Okay,
here we go. Nick Anderson.
Yes.
Andrel Anthony.
No.
Branson Hickman.
No.
Wow.
I'm telling you no.
Gentry Williams.
No.
Wow.
Okay, keep going.
Deshaun McCullough.
No.
Who am I? Everett. Troy Everett.
No.
So the only one that's coming back is
let me change mine. I'm saying two. Anderson and Anthony. Kendall
ask
Dolby.
me him now.
Kendall Dolby will be back.
Dolby. Ask me them, Jay.
So I'm saying, and Jake Taylor, I say no. So I say three. I say Anderson, Anthony, and Dolby.
I think Gentry will be back. I think Anderson will be back. I think Dolby will be back. I think Hickman will be back. I don't know if anyone else is, Jay.
Hey, and I don't know, guys. I'm not going to get into what's floating around. Jeremy asked me my opinion. That's my opinion.
I said it last night.
You can write it down what I said, and if I'm wrong, you can come at me. I don't care. No,
did not play Saturday, Corey. 2 Saturdays ago, he played against Houston. Did not play against Tulane. Did he, Jay?
Not that I was aware of. Sooner
Agreed.
Cowboy says Dolby, Gentry, Anderson, and Hickman.
That's the 4 I say. If you get those 4 back, I mean, Everett would be icing on the cake. So would Deshaun McCullough. Deshaun McCullough would be icing, and Anthony. I mean, those guys would be great.
Let me ask you this. Why do I think that, Jay? Well, I think this because I don't know how much Hickman has practiced. That's my thing on Hickman. So, okay. And let me ask this question. Out of the ones you mentioned, give me the top 2 as far as most important to this game Saturday.
Okay. Nick Anderson is at the top of the list.
I agree.
I think you have to have 3 because Nick Anderson, Kendall Dolby is a priority. I think Anderson on the offensive side, Dolby, but I think just as important is Branson Hickman.
I think you're right. I think Nick Anderson and Branson Hickman. The ones that are saying Dolby, guys, I watched the game again. I thought Sammy O looked really good. So I'm not saying.
Well, I want Dolby back. Jay, that brings us to a topic. We're releasing a video in the morning where we're going to talk about the offense of Tennessee. Listen, everyone, very carefully. Someone mentioned Kenai Walker getting roasted. Hey, don't expect OU secondary to hold up without pressure. OU needs to get pressure. Brew McCoy is 6'3", Dante Thornton is 6'5", and then they have Squirrel White. That's a speedster. They have dudes on the outside, in the middle. OU has to pressure Nico. Must.
And me and Hunter were talking about earlier. I think
me and Hunter and I.
Hunter, you don't need to correct me on my English. I don't care about it right now. Okay. Hunter and I were looking at, or he was talking about earlier, PFF. Nico under pressure, I think was in like the 30s on PFF. It wasn't good. But their running backs, Sampson, I'd like to see how many carries he averages so far through 3 games. I think there's been a couple of games he had 20 carries. So he carries the ball quite a bit. Hey, Greg, I would say this. I think Dez is playing really good right now. I think their best two corners are Dez and Kanai, and they're both.
I'm not sold on Kanai yet.
They're the most physical. I think those two. You know what? You want me to tell you what I would like to see? You want me to tell you what I would like to see?
Yes, I do.
People will probably disagree with this. I know you do, and I know Hunter does. I would love to see a lineup with Sammy O at Cheetah and drop Dolby back into nickel or defensive back, and you could keep Kanai and Malone on the field too. I'd like to see something with Dolby, and that would be Dolby there where Woody is I guess is what I'm saying.
Hey,
I'm not saying every down, but I'd like to see it every once in a while.
Listen, Josh is an offensive mastermind, according to this Tennessee fan. If you have a weakness, he will find it. But on the other side, on the flip side, Brent Venables and Zach Alley, they're not going to sleep much this week.
It's going to be a chess match.
They're going to find out any and every way to make it fit for Nico.
Hey, real quick, thanks for joining. And here's the thing: OU fans know Heupel's offense. They've seen it. They also saw a kind of similar offense with Levy. And if you load the box on them to stop the run, they will try to beat you down the field all day long. I mean, that's what they will do. So here's the thing: if you got to really be able to stop the run without bringing a bunch of extra guys, I think that's where he'll really make you pay. And Sooner Cowboys, I did not talk about this earlier when Jeremy asked about the coaches show. That was probably one of the best things I heard. He was talking about it, comparing the injuries, talking about Ford truck guys versus Ferrari. Some guys are Ford trucks guys. They'll start no matter what. Some guys need a little more time. And they got to have all the bells and whistles ready to go. So,
hey, Jay, Dylan Sampson and Deshaun. I mean, they got Bishop. I mean, they got two good running backs. But Chief says, and thanks for the super, Chief. You're so faithful. Appreciate you every night showing up. Guys, the Vol stats don't mean crap. They played nobody. Our defense will by far be the biggest test. Here's what I would say. I agree that the stats don't really matter right now. I agree with that. But I think it's the matchup that everyone's been waiting for. It is a heavyweight battle, and I cannot wait. And I got to call out Owen Field Hype for a minute.
Real quick. But you can say the Vols haven't played anybody. Oh, you hadn't played anybody either, and they haven't looked very good on offense. So that's
correct.
That's
I mean, they're putting. I do think though, with how good Tennessee has looked, if they start struggling, they're going to start wondering if maybe
the key to the game Saturday is going to be the start. If OU gets down early, it's with the way the offense has been playing, I'd be surprised if they can come back from getting down early. I think you got to start off strong on defense and try to get a little bit of a lead. And real quick, Sooner fan, yes, I did see that, and that's good that he's back. Had 19 snaps against Tulane, the most he's had this year. He battled an ankle injury, I believe he said, at the beginning of the year or something.
Mark, thanks for the super. Bobby, you're correct. Tennessee has looked better against their nobodies. Chris Nipper says, hopefully with game day there in a night game, the offense will have trouble with all the – I hope. Hey, I've got to say something. Owen Field Hype, I think you said something, called me out about Des Malone. I'm curious what that was about. I love Des Malone.
Jeremy, I think the other day you said Des Malone was getting beat a lot or something. I think that's what that is. I'm pretty sure.
I've been really high on Des Malone since he came from San Diego State. Reader, thanks for the super. One day closer to game day. Let's go. Yep, this is going to be a long week waiting for this.
Is it?
Yeah, it's going to be a long week.
I think it's going to be a short week. Today flew by. Owen Field Hype need a big game from Dominique and Halton Boomer. And Dominique, Halton, and Jaden Jackson. If you notice, Jaden Jackson is usually in on the run, like at the first of the drives and first of the series. He's in the backfield. He might not be making the play.
He's doing his job, Jay.
He's beating his guy. Yes, correct.
So, great point. We've got to find out how Tennessee – if OU doesn't make it difficult and there is no adversity and it becomes easy, OU's in a lot of trouble. I think it's going to be difficult. I think OU's going to dial up a lot of different schemes, pressures coming from every which way. And the fan base, I mean, I think if OU doesn't play jump around at the beginning of the game, Jay, it's ridiculous.
You know, I asked Hunter today. He said they don't play that. They haven't played that. Why wouldn't they play that song after the 2008 game? Why wouldn't they play it sometime during the game? I don't understand that. Hey, Chester, Malone's played really good.
Hey,
I don't know.
what I'll say about Malone, he's physical. He has great size. He's played pretty well. He's a good tackler.
Yeah, Tyler's right. Got to show he's a boss. Terry did have a really big game. You know, when he's in there, he plays really good.
Hey, where's DeJohn Terry from?
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
he is chomping at the bit.
Hey, and one thing that Malone really helps is his size, because they have some pretty good sized receivers at Tennessee. I think 6'3", 6'5", some of them go.
Hey, timeout. Fred Amon, I got to ask you something. If your stat is true, and I'll go fact check it. I don't even know if you can fact check blown coverages.
It's like the debate, Jeremy.
Jeez. Hey, if their secondary has not had a blown coverage in 4 games, then their secondary isn't as good, maybe, as what people do. Because they're only ranked, I mean, if they haven't had blown coverages, they shouldn't be allowed any yards. Well, and look, they won't have any blown coverages if OU doesn't have some of the receivers back. But I hope Deion Burks can cause a little bit of fits.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at blown coverage or anything, but I think the weakest part of their defense is their secondary. I mean, you would have to agree with that. I mean, their D line's ridiculously good. So I think that would probably be the weakest. Dakota, yes. I think OU can win.
It's football. You never know. Hey, Blake from Utah. Here's the thing. Jacoby, I want to say he played near 30, 40 snaps last week, Jay. And he didn't look great. I mean, I like how he looks. He does have size. I think he's uber athletic. But it's not like he just showed to be clear and far and away better than the others. And I agree with Greg God. Greg God, that's exactly what I'm saying. I've specifically watched him because I have liked everything I've heard about Jacoby Johnson. He just has not, in my opinion, been a guy who's caused me to go, whoa.
Hey, Hunter, I got a job for Hunter if he can look it up for me. Go look it up in the last 3 years. Maybe last 2 years. Let's go last 2 years. How long has Heupel been there now? Two full years? I'm trying to remember. Go look up Tennessee's record on a true road game against a top 15 team. I'm interested to know how they've done against top 15. And Bobby's right. Bobby's right on Malone. He's the most physical guy they got back there right now, defensive back.
Fred, OU's go-to running back. Here's the deal. There won't be a go-to. They're going to play 3. I think they're going to play 2 a little more than 1. I think Barnes and Tatum will be the 2 guys. Barnes is better in pass protection, but that's it. Josh's hot take, and we're trying to hit a lot of chats tonight. Hot take: if we don't turn the ball over and win time of possession, OU wins the game. That's a recipe. That would be big.
Recipe for success. Hey, what you were talking about the running backs. Just in general, do you think this game you see less rotations all around the board?
Not on defense, Jay.
You think they still run that many guys out there on defense?
Yeah, Jay, you have to play the depth on defense.
I know, but there's times where you're like, I'm just asking. I was wondering what you thought, but
I think you have to play the depth on defense.
Oh, I think you have to play the depth.
And I've got to ask Chief.
Do you have to go as deep as Eli Bowen at defensive back? You think?
Again, I'm going to say on defensive backs, I like giving the opposing receivers different types of DBs because they don't get used to one guy. I love rotating DBs. Now, they are really good on the outside, and I got to go back to Chief T-Bird, who said he really feels like this week they're going to get a lot of deep balls, OU is. Who's it going to be? That's the question.
I'm glad Larry looked it up for me here. Vols played 3 top 16 teams last year, lost them all, plus lost to Florida. What I'm saying is this, and I know they didn't have Nico, but the true road games against top-ranked teams, I don't think they've been great in. I will say this, though. This is by far and away their best team they've had under Heupel. It's not even close. That year they beat Alabama with Hooker. Was that last year or the year before? At home. That was a home game. They had a good team. But what they have this year defensively and offensively, I mean, to me, I consider them a national championship caliber team. Do you?
Look at this stat: 1-7 versus the top 15.
That's why I brought it up. Thank you, Hunter, for looking it up. So I know there's a lot of people that have been commenting on videos saying it won't be anything to go into Norman and win. Based off experience of road games against top 15 teams, it would be a big victory for Tennessee to come in Norman and win. So
that would be massive, Jay. Jerry says Salchuk listen, Jerry, that is Salchuk. And if you are blocking and the backside gets open, he is a guy who is patient and waits for his holes. The problem is there's just not any holes. I saw Rob get on here and say, hook him. Hey, you must like the hat then, okay? You must like the hat.
That was a goalpost in the river win. That's correct. That's right. How big would it listen, I'll say this, Ricky. I think getting Hickman back would be massive. I don't think getting Everett back would do much for you. I just don't. He hasn't played in a long time. At least Hickman played a little bit this year. Fred, I give you that. That's correct. I would agree with that. The most are Georgia, but most. What do you say out of those 8? 4 or 4 Georgia and Bama probably 2.
Probably. He's been there since
half of them.
21.
Probably
1 and 8 actually. 1 and 8. Yeah,
so probably half of them are Georgia, Bama. I get that, but I'm saying even the teams that haven't been, they struggle with. But Fred, you don't have to debate me. I do think this Tennessee is way better than they've had before. This is the best team they've had. To me, it's
all
not
around.
close.
I mean, you're looking at, if you want to say best, top to bottom, all the way around, complimentary, yes. Listen, Jay, BV's speech before this game Saturday is going to be unbelievable. You know he's going to –
the hype video better be unbelievable.
You know he's going to talk about – everyone said OU can't be in the SEC. He's going to talk about embracing it, welcoming it, not running from it. I mean, they're going to want to – they've got to control their energy.
Dakota, 28-24. That's my prediction. Dalpo says, do they run the quarterback a lot again next week? Are you talking about OU? I think OU has to run Jackson. I don't think their run game's good enough without it. You got to run.
You have to be who you are. God, Guns, and Ammo said
4. I think Georgia Bama games probably 4 of those.
4 Georgia Bama losses.
4 of those losses. So half of them are Georgia, Alabama.
I'm curious what the emojis are for. Do you think? Look, I do think there's such thing as being overly hyped, and you've got to hone the energy, control it.
Hey, and you know what? I know people don't want to talk about it right now. Nobody wants to, but fact of the matter is this game affects playoffs big time.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's going to affect the end of the season. This game will, one way or the other. So I'm not saying OU's going to make the playoffs if they win, but I'm saying that would affect Tennessee for sure because Tennessee still has to go to – they play Bama and Georgia. Or is that right? They have 3 Georgia. Yeah. Georgia.
I don't think OU's doing a dedicated – look, I've seen a couple on Twitter already about the 2000 season, and maybe they do something like that. Maybe in the scene setter, I think possibly in the scene setter, you're going to see a clip of Heupel coming back to Norman. That's what I think. It's going to be in Toby's scene setter.
I think they'll do a little picture tribute or something. They're not going to do like a big, long video. I think they'll put some stuff up there, though. But
would love to see – Josh, thanks for the super.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Would love to see a heavy dose off the split back formation throughout the game. Tatum and Barnes. Absolutely agree. I want more Tatum and Barnes together. That is what I want.
Hey, Rob, he's a Texas guy, says gets another shutout in the shootout. We're not talking about the Texas game yet. That's down the road. But I'll say this.
They didn't shut OU out last year.
Does this game feel a little bit like last year's OU Texas game to you?
Everyone was counting OU out.
Remember that last year?
Hey.
I do.
Mizzou champ, who's ready to take their first SEC? Hey, first off, man, get your apostrophes in there. Make it grammatically correct. Second of all, I don't really care about Missouri this week. OU's in the big-time game this week, okay?
Yeah.
And by the way, real quick, if you're a Missouri or a Tennessee fan, Go check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com. And if you're an OU fan, and sign up for the Shirt of the Month Club, you can use code SURGE, get 10% off. You will get a shirt sent to your house every month. It's a different design for your team.
They're really good. Yeah.
They're awesome designs for your team.
Hey, David Jenkins Drums, thanks for joining tonight. Yeah, so Tennessee plays Bama in Knoxville, Georgia, and Athens. Before the year, I thought they had to win 2 of 3 between the OU game, Bama game, and Georgia game. I think if Tennessee wins 2 of those 3, wins 1 of those 3, they have to go 1-2. They're going to probably end up 10-2 and in the playoff. So if they win the OU game, that's like they're in great shape, because I think 10-2 Tennessee gets in. So they really need to win 1 of those 3. I'm trying to think who their other games are, but I think the rest of the schedule, I think they're going to win. So I think those are the 3 games right there for Tennessee.
Hey, couple things. Talon, put yourselves in Josh's shoes. I would want my offense to go absolutely ballistic. Yep, I would. I would as well. And that could be it. But I also have to say, Ricky says, don't the other fans have their own show to watch? Hey, welcome them. Bring it. Bring it all. Bring it every night. I'm not going to sit there and, bring it, but I'll call you out if it's something I don't agree with.
I think he was talking about Tennessee, Missouri, but Tennessee for sure needs to be on, because we're talking Tennessee, Oklahoma. Ball size at every position is going to be the difference. I think they do have good size. You can't hide from that. We'll see. This game's going to be won in the trenches. And
Absolutely,
it's going to be Tennessee's O-line against OU's D-line. Who's going to win that matchup against the run in particular, I think. I think Nico can throw the ball and throw for some yards, but I don't think that will matter as much if you're able to control the run game.
Hey, appreciate Rob. Subscribe, maybe even order one of these hats. Just kidding.
And then, the other one is this. OU's O-line, which has been the Achilles heel and the problem for Oklahoma. And Tennessee's D-line's unbelievable. Tennessee is number 2 against the run right now, and OU doesn't run the ball well. So, you know what I'm interested to see about Tennessee, what they do defensively? Do they just pretty much try and control it with the up front 4? Because if they can, and they drop people back in coverage, it'll be interesting. It's going to be a chess match both ways. It should be a good game.
Couple of things real quick. OU is on the smaller side. Actually, OU's got plenty of 300-pounders this year. Their O-line is huge. They just haven't been good. Keaton says Pierce has been about as over. Pierce has not performed yet this year. We'll see what he does this week. Tyler, I love SEC Mike, cousin Shane. We had SEC Mike on before the season. Love it. He's going to be in Norman. Tennessee will stop you on offense and will run all over you and pick you apart in the air. Yeah, that's kind of what they try to do to you. But OU's going to be here for it, I promise you. OU's got to stop the run, and they got to put pressure on Nico. Plain and simple. It's not rocket science. And by the way, everyone's job and goal on any sports team is to stop the other person on offense and try to score when they're on offense. That's kind of the game.
Stephen G, thanks for joining tonight. Said, did y'all see the challenge Danny gave the fans? I did see it. My hope is that Brent Venables says something similar tomorrow, Stephen. Bob Stoops did it in 2008. It proved really great for Oklahoma fans. I think Brent Venables needs to say something. But we'll see. Whether or not he does or not, the fans will show up. It's Tennessee. It's a big game. But I think it's just the frustrating thing is last week was just frustrating.
Hey, so I'm not worried about OU stopping the run. OU can stop the run. The problem, Jetty, are they going to stop him with having to bring more guys, or can they stop him with the front 6 that they have, 6 in the box? If they have to load the box, you're absolutely right, Jetty. Nico's going to throw over the top. That's what's going to happen. It's the deep ball from Nico. If you don't have to bring extra guys, you can rotate a safety over. You can do some different things.
Real quick. Fred says OU's going to stack the box, press the receivers around blitz line. I'll say this. I've listened to a lot of national people. Because of the last 15 to 20 years of Oklahoma football, I don't think anybody thinks OU has anybody in that defensive line that's actually SEC ready, and they're absolutely wrong. Okay, go watch the defensive line from Oklahoma. I know they haven't played great teams, but they're the best they've been in a long time in Oklahoma on the front. I don't know if they'll be stacking the box. I don't think they will, Fred. I actually don't. I think they're going to mix it up. Brent Venables likes to mix it up. Brent Venables has coached against the Heupel style of offense quite a bit. We'll see what he does. I mean, you know what I kind of wonder if they do, Jeremy, that you haven't seen much of?
What's that?
You haven't seen much 3-down linemen this year from Oklahoma, have you?
You haven't, Jay. He's going to mix it up, and again, you've got to stop the run first. Sampson, Bishop, Deshaun Bishop, and Sampson are both really good. It's like a two-headed monster. And then you got the addition of maybe Nico running. OU's got to stop the run. It's plain and simple.
And Greg God's right at this. I think out of OU's team, the position is probably the most SEC ready is the D-line.
Correct. Jay.
Jackson's right on that. They have ran some bear look with backers and stuff lined up. Yeah, you're right.
I've got to get back to Sooner fan. He's talking about, and I just had to go all the way back now, Jay, because you took it off the screen for me.
Oh, don't cry.
Sooner fan is interested in the tailgate scene. Night game, first SEC game, should be a war zone.
Well, here's the thing.
On the Prairie.
Hey, here's the thing that should make the tailgate scene better. You have game day from 5 a.m. to 11, and then the game's not till 6:30. You're not leaving. Nobody's going to leave out of there. Tailgate.
It should be raucous, Jay.
It should be the best tailgate environment they've ever had.
And Jordan's got a good point. This game will also be the biggest challenge Tennessee has faced as well. Listen, if anyone tells me one more time that Nico played in a bowl game against Iowa in Orlando, Florida, and it was a road environment, that is not even close to what he's going to face on Saturday night. First off, there are way more Tennessee fans in Orlando than Iowa fans. Okay? I'll take a line from Field of Dreams. Are we in heaven? No, this is Iowa. But it's not Iowa. It's Norman, Oklahoma, and it better be raucous, and it's not going to feel like a bowl game environment. That's what I'm going to say.
And Brian says OU will have to blitz with 5 to 7 on money down. Live by the sword, die by it. And then I think Brian said he's out.
Moose just said it.
What?
Moose, I just said don't say it. That's not a road environment, man. It's a neutral site. Come on, Moose. Admit that, Moose.
Well, who had more fans there? Probably.
It was in Florida. That's Tennessee country more than Iowa country, Jay.
And Orange-Blooded America said no serious person is saying that Orlando was a road game.
Orange-Blood American, with all due respect, maybe they're not serious, but I've heard we had multiple people on a video that we put out earlier. There's a couple on here that have said it.
Jeremy, he or she's agreeing with you, so you don't need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking. It sounds like Moose was just maybe trying to get me. If you're new to this show because you're a Tennessee fan, I get very passionate. I get hyped up. And by the way, we're on here every night at 9:30, so bring it all week, everybody.
Hey, Bagman said I'd actually like to ask Joe John about a lot of things. Joe John is co-offensive coordinator. And he hasn't been asked anything. You're right. But that leads me to the trivia question. Here we go, man. Trivia.
Let's bring it.
Josh Heupel, when he last at OU, when he was at OU last few years, he was at Oklahoma as the co-OC. Who was the co-OC with Josh Heupel? I think people forget he was a co-OC, even though he called the plays, just like Seth Luttrell calls the plays. Who was it?
Update on the Eagles score, please.
Who cares about the Eagles? It was not Cale Gundy.
Nor was it Kate Gundy.
Owen Field got it. Jay Norvell.
Yeah, Jay Norvell, both. That's correct.
That's right. Good job, Owen Field Hype.
Jay Norvell and Heupel gone together.
Somebody said Blake got it. I thought Blake said Norvell, but I think Owen Field Hype got it first when he said Jay.
Hey, Jay, are there any comparisons? Because I've heard people, look, OU's a 7.5-point dog at home.
Is it 7.5 now?
I thought it was, Jay. Listen, it's a lot. That is going to be in the locker room. If I'm a Sooner coach, I've plastered that thing all over the locker room. But here's the deal. People want to compare this to the 2000 season when Josh Heupel led OU to a national championship, the quarterback, the beloved hero of that team that year. Listen, there are not that many similarities. For one, OU had, in the Red River game, just demolished University of Texas, Jay. OU is coming into this game limping on offense. They were not coming into that game limping on offense. There are not a lot of similarities. Okay. And I agree, Chester. It's not even close. I hate that comparison. Hit the like. If you're on here right now, hit the like. It really does our channel good. We appreciate it. We're just two Sooner fans talking every single night to other people on here, college football fans, Surgeaholics, Sooner fans, all that.
Jaw Jackin says, faceless, nameless. I saw Josh Heupel say that. I like the
let's not take that out of context.
No, I like that. I like what he said.
But people are taking it out of context.
Who's taking that out of the context?
I'm going to tell you right now. Do you know when that interview was?
That was after the game the other day.
Had nothing to do with the OU game.
He said, whoever it is, we're going to play faceless, nameless. I know.
But the question was not even about OU. Okay, so that had to do with if we're playing a scrum team or anyone, they're faceless, they're nameless. There are people who have posted saying that Josh Heupel is basically calling OU out. That's not what he's doing there. Furthermore, Josh Heupel did not say that stuff about the crowd. He was trying to be funny. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody.
People take things out of context.
Orange Blood America. Can we get an honest wellness check on OU's offensive line? I wish I knew. I mean, we'll see on Saturday, and maybe when the injury report comes out, they really need Hickman. But I think if you're talking offensive line and who you really need back for this Saturday game is Hickman at center. I think that's the guy that you could probably get the most out of in first game back.
Hey,
Chuck says, guys, 7.5 there going off the body work that both teams have put out. I am surprised it's not more.
Hey, to be more than that on the road these days is a lot. Jay, I think that someone said earlier they want to see Caleb Hicks. Absolutely not. You've got three guys. There's no way they're going to roll Caleb Hicks out there this week. I say no way. Maybe they do. It would be a mistake.
Hey, Bagman said, I love Heupel, but we got to remind him who daddy is. I'd be interested to know with all the Sooner fans in here, how many of people would say they just don't like Heupel? I don't think there's been very many people that just say
he was the beloved hero of the last 24 years ago. They won a championship.
But I've seen people on Twitter bash him, and I don't think that's true. I think most OU fans like Josh Heupel. It's
Fred,
like some fan bases. You have a bad apple. Have people like that. I think the majority of OU fans like Heupel.
Heupel is going to be nothing but class, and Brent Venables is going to be nothing but class. That's what it is. It's two heavyweights going at it on Saturday night at the Palace on the Prairie, ABC 6:30. It's got everything that you want. I think it's going to be an elite atmosphere. I really hope we see something that we think, I think it's going to be in the 20s. I think it's going to be great hitting on both sides. You cannot have mistakes. You cannot turn the ball over. You cannot have busts in the secondary. You cannot miss tackles. You have got to be on your A game.
Hey,
both sides.
Hey, Midtown Power Watchers, Heupel had nothing but good things to say about y'all today. Check the press conference. I don't think anybody said otherwise. He had great things.
And BB's going to say the same thing about you.
But who said that? Check the press. I didn't say that he said anything bad. I don't know. But I don't know where that's coming from. But Josh, next Oklahoma coach, Ricky said, hey, no chance. Because why? I mean, he's at Tennessee. The dude could be at Tennessee for the next 10 to 15 years. And by the way, I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it. The best thing that happened to Josh Heupel was leaving Oklahoma for his career, I think.
Hey, real quick.
I know he had to go and then build his way back up, but I think looking at it now, even I don't know if he would tell you that, but he's made himself without Oklahoma. And that means more, I think, to him because it's not under the Oklahoma name where he was, playing favorites or whatever. It's the guy can coach football. He's an awesome offensive mind. He's got to be up there when you talk about the top 5 offensive minds in college football. He's up there. You got Lincoln Riley. You got Josh Heupel. I mean, he's up there, guys.
Hey,
he's a good coach.
Listen, Ricky, Bobby says that bridge has probably already been burned. Yeah, it has. And I saw that Kimberly says we don't have to justify anything. I don't know what you mean justifying something, but for Tina Marie or whatever the comment was about Tennessee has 22 guys who rotate and now your quarterback's going down. Okay, be that fan. Look, I promise you, Danny Stutzman and company, they came back for this game. They came back for the SEC, so that OU's not backing down, Marie.
You know what? It doesn't matter what anybody says. we're going to find out Saturday at 9:30 when the game's about over. You're going to know a lot more about Tennessee and a lot more about Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Fred.
That's a fact. So
I got to get to this because Fred twice has talked about the Vols tight ends, a double tight end set. I will say, OU's backers, Jay, have to be good in the zone. Tulane exposed a couple soft spots in the zone. It was with the receivers. Of course, Bauman, their tight end, found a couple of spots. But OU does have to be good against the tight end. That they just have to.
Good. Go Big Orange time to welcome seniors to the SEC. Welcome in, and it's time to see if you belong. You're right. Hey, OU fans, if OU goes out there and lays an egg and they look bad, I mean, be ready. The welcome to the SEC, you sure you wanted to come to this conference? Be ready for it. It will be in all your mentions. It will be all over Twitter. It'll be all over everything. So OU needs to go out there and perform because you know what's going to happen if they don't. And that's the beauty of college football and sports is you go play the game and you see what happens. And this is their first SEC game. It's against a top 6 opponent, a really good team. And OU's got to be better offensively, period. If OU is better offensively, I think the defense is – I know people don't want to believe in the defense because it's been so long since they've had a really, really good defense. I believe it. I think this defense is elite. I think it's top 3 in the SEC. I think they keep you in most games this year. Keep it low scoring in the 20s. I think you have a chance to win.
And I will say what Tyler or what Chester said. There's a long season here. It's a 12-team playoff. That changes things. One thing and done isn't going to do it.
Yeah, Colin for sure has something ready to go, especially if USC beats Michigan and OU loses to Tennessee. Just be ready. Be ready.
And talent, I agree with. Look, this has been the gauge, the barometer, whatever you want to say, moving the needle. This has been the one that everyone's been waiting on.
Yeah, and the Hubs has got to heat up their young quarterback. That is the thing. Per PFF, he's not great under pressure. You got to put pressure on him. Chuck Kearney says, we believe in the D. I think there's a lot of fans that do, Chuck, and then there's some that don't, but we'll find out on Saturday. You're playing, I think, probably the best offense you're going to play all year. Now, I think Texas is a really good offense. I think Bama's a good offense. I think Ole Miss is a good offense. I think Missouri's a decent offense. But I think Tennessee may be the best one out there. And it's because of the scheme and everything about it.
Hey, 2 things. Colin, I saw Florida State was not allowed to play when Memphis had the ball. They got called out. Jetty says, is there a loss out there this Saturday that actually gives us some hope? I mean, if you lose 27-24 and OU looks really good on offense, I think it's some hope. But there's no moral victory against Tennessee. This is not a moral victory game.
And Fred, you're 1,000% correct. He's so far this year, he's bad under pressure and he's bad against the blitz per PFF. So you're right. That's a fact.
And Nico's not good either under pressure, Jay.
I already said that, Jeremy. Yeah.
Hey, Nico, one thing about Nico and Arnold.
Did you hear me say that earlier or not?
Probably not.
One
thing about Nico and Arnold that they have in common, they're both 5 stars, and both of them try to fit it in tight spaces, Jay. And
Jeremy,
they're gonna
listen. Listen has the same letters that go in the word silent.
I know, Jay. I taught English.
Okay, so maybe Saturday night we got the prime. Hey, you got listen to all you got Saturday night. You got Heupel coming back to Oklahoma. You got Nico versus Arnold, highly recruited guys in the same class. You got Tennessee and Oklahoma, 2 storied programs. You got Oklahoma's first SEC game. You got game day in the morning. You got Pate World Tour coming, Josh Pate. You got Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler. It is all eyes. The only other great game I would say, I mean, you got Utah, Oklahoma State, but that's a Big 12 game. You got USC, Michigan. All eyes are on Norman this Saturday. So put up or shut up. It's time.
Jay,
both teams, it's time.
Put up or shut up with that comment, Jay.
What?
Answer the comment there.
Bobby J thinks the defense is elite. I think it's a top 3 defense in the SEC, Eric.
I would agree with you, Jay.
Eric, that's fine. After Saturday, I can say what I want, Eric. you can say it's too soon to tell. That's fine. My opinion is I think they're a top 3. Is it too soon to tell? Yes. But my opinion is it's a top 3. Okay. And we'll find out Saturday. I may have to come in here on Saturday and say that was not a very good performance. Didn't see it. But I'm just telling you what I think. Okay.
Jerry,
And it's not
I
sunshine
think
pumping at all, Eric.
most people agree Corso needs to retire. And I would agree with Bobby here. Elite has become the most overused word in sports. It needs to be. How do you define elite? That's the thing. I'm going to say OU's defense is really, really good. And I know people say they haven't played anyone, and I agree they haven't. Tennessee has not played anyone. I would say their schedules have been pretty similar.
Well, NC State's better than.
Let me finish.
Better than
Tennessee has beat their nobodies worse than OU has. That's a fact. But OU on defense has been good in all 3 games. And I mean, to only allow 13 to Tulane and one of those touchdowns being on a 4th down play, I think OU's defense is really, really good. We will see how good this week because Brew McCoy, Squirrel White, Dante Thorne as receivers, Sampson, Bishop at running backs, Nico at quarterback. Like, if OU holds them under 30, and I think they do, I think that's a great performance, Jay. If OU allows something in the 20s, I think people have to say OU's defense is real.
Won't. People won't say that's a great performance, but I think they're going to hold them to 24 points. That's why I think it's a really good defense. I think if they score 24, there will still be OU fans say bad defensive performance. So it is what it is. And you know what? We'll find out. I mean, top 3 in the SEC, I think you're going to have to be better than Georgia. I mean, it's going to be Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Ole Miss. Those 5 battling for the top 3 in the SEC on defense, in my opinion.
I don't care about bowl games, Drew. Even OU's the only reason
Texas. No.
The only reason about the bowl game is it allows guys to play for the next year. So Nico got a chance to start. Arnold got a chance to start. And you're right, Chester. Iowa plays Big Ten offenses. There's a reason they are a top 3 defense.
Hey, Walter says if Tennessee scores under 30, OU wins. Well, that's how I got it picked, 28-24. I think that's the only chance OU has to win. I think we got to keep
trolling, Jay. Jaw-jacking says you're trolling, Jay.
Jaw-jacking? That's fine. You can say I'm trolling. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. And you know what? I'm not sunshine pumping. That's just what I think, okay? But we'll find out. They may go out there and allow 40, and Jaw-jacking could be right. Who knows? We'll find out. But don't get me wrong here. The 24 points I'm saying is what the defense allows. That's not if Jackson Arnold throws another pick 6. That does not count against the defense. So
SG21. People say the secondary is their weakest, kind of their weakest spot. But if OU's not going to have time, it's not going to matter. OU's got to have time to throw the ball.
That's right. And even though they're weak, maybe their weakest spot, they're not weak at all. The secondary is not weak. I mean, Gray God's got 38-17. Bobby's got 41-17 Tennessee. So now I don't think that's going to happen at all. Nuts. OU's going to roll Tennessee. I don't see that happen at all. Heupel averages 31 points on the road. That doesn't surprise me. I think the year he got fired from Oklahoma, they averaged 36 and they fired him. So he puts up points. But do you think, okay, Levy was at Oklahoma for 2 years. They would have games where they would score 60 and look outstanding, and then they would go through stretches where it was bad. I mean, so it can happen. I'm not saying they're going to shut Tennessee down to nothing, but I think OU, if they stop the run, here's where you want me to tell you why I'm banking the defense on this Saturday and why I'm picking 24 points for Tennessee. It's this. I'm banking on Nico has a turnover or 2. It's a first true road game in an environment that he hasn't seen yet. Okay, so I'm banking that he might have an interception or 2, and then I'm banking on the fact that Oklahoma is going to stop the run. And when I say stop, I don't mean they're going to allow 0 yards. They're going to allow a good amount of yards, but they're going to hold Tennessee way under what they average. And that's how I'm banking that they're going to control their offense, because that's the only way to stop Josh Heupel's offense. You will not stop his offense if you don't stop the run. period.
Hey,
Can't.
yes,
Too good.
Vols Nation champs. OU has several key injuries, 7 or 8 to be
A lot.
exact. Hopefully they get several of those guys back this week. If you're a Tennessee fan, OU fan, Mizzou, whatever, everyone needs to check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com and sign up for your team's Shirt of the Month Club. Yeah, I'm calling you guys out, Tennessee fans. Go check it out.
Hey,
thefanstop.com. Use our code SURGE, 10% off.
Eric, I don't need to wait and see it. I've already watched their games. They're really good defensively, bro. They're really good.
OU's allowed a lot of sacks, Drew. Absolutely have. Jaw Jackin says, stop the run, 50-yard bomb. Yeah, that's kind of the point. That's what everyone wants to do, Jaw Jackin.
That can happen.
You can talk that all you want, but that doesn't mean it's happening.
Hey, that can happen for sure. But good. I've been on the other side of it where OU was so good offensively that you said there's no way they can be stopped, and then they go out there and get stopped by somebody. So I'm just saying.
Hey, Robert, it sounds like a new commit in the newest class. It was either that or being the guest pitcher on Game Day, and it looks like it's that one.
Pretty sure it's a new commit. We'll have a video probably released tomorrow when it happens. But 3 starting offensive linemen. Yeah, they have injuries. And Fred, Tennessee guy, says 34-17 balls. Defense just too much for Oklahoma. That is the question. What improvements can Oklahoma's offense make from last week? They got better last week. Now, they weren't great. They got better. They got to get better again, or they won't win this game. They got to get better. I'm not saying they're just going to go out there and roll it out there and win. They got to play a really, really dang good game to win this game.
OU's got to get pressure with their front four.
I agree.
That they have to, Jay. They have to stop the run without selling out to stop the run and get pressure with the front four. They do that. It's going to be difficult.
Tennessee's O-line's better than I thought they would be going into the year. They're really good.
Yeah.
Jordan says attempt a 50-yard bomb, and we're going to be yelling Billy, Billy, Billy. I think Billy needs to have a really good game.
He hasn't made a lot of plays yet. I mean, he got the pick, yes, but he can be better. He knows it.
Yeah. Total touchdowns from Mr. Dalagaff says for Jack. He was right last week. I'll give him that. So, hey, Mr. Dalagaff, if you're right again this week and he has 5 touchdowns this week, OU's winning the game.
Will, I'm not saying OU's got to sack Nico multiple times. They just have to pressure him. They've got to make him throw it early. They've got to try to make him fit it in difficult places.
Hey, Jaw Jackin, you're right. That's a fact. No team.
Well, that's any team in America. I agree.
Yeah, and that's been OU's struggle this year when they haven't gotten third downs. They've been in third and long. Last week, first half, they were 5 for 6 on third downs, and because it was 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, you cannot against any good defense be successful on 2nd and 9 and 3rd and 8. Can't happen, won't happen. So you're right, Jaw Jackin. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, Nico's got to handle the stadium. Do you think OU has anything up for the sleeve? I mean, they better have something. There better be a lot of schemes that are different as far as I think they got to mix it up on defense. I think they've got to do some things. They've got to drop certain blitzes. So I think, I'm not saying they're going to run huge trickery, but
I don't think it's going to rain, Ron. Let's see. What was I going to get to? Oh, looking for RMT. RMT needs to have another great performance like he had last week. But you know what he needs, probably more than that, is somebody from the other side of the line to have a really good performance. I mean, who do you think other than RMT right now on the edge is the best one?
Caden Woolard got pressure.
I thought Ethan Downs really good against the run. I don't know how good against the pass. I mean, he made some pretty good rushes, but they need PJ to be PJ, and I think take it to the next level. I really do. It won't happen this week, but I think by the year end. And Talon says he loves games like this. Honestly, count us out, baby. Hey, here's what I'll say though. If you go look at the last few games the OU's had at game day at Norman, and it's been a big time team coming in, it hasn't been good. I mean, you got Ohio State in 2016, not a good performance. Notre Dame, not a good performance in 2012. But how's the true freshman D-line looking so far? Hey, Jaden Jackson, true freshman starter, number 65, looks really good, Fred. He's consistently being good and in the backfield. I do not have a black eye, Ron. I don't know what you're talking about. Last night you said that if it's a shadow or something or what. No black eyes here, bro.
Hey, real quick, for everyone that's on here that's new, again, we do this every night at 9:30. Every night this week we'll be on. On Saturday, we'll be on before the game. We'll be on after the game to break it down. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the like, and then check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com. I appreciate everyone that's been on here tonight. Reader, thanks for the super. Mark, thanks for the super. Chief T-Bird, thanks for the super. Everyone that's on here commenting, keeping the chats going. Thanks for keeping it mostly clean again, as always. Hit the like, subscribe. We appreciate you all. We'll be back on here tomorrow, and we'll see you. Have a great Tuesday.